The Senate cannot continue this way.
Welcome.
Do you want to do the thing?
Yes.
So,
okay.
I think every episode we're just going to keep going to different local coffee places around us. Keeping it new. Last week was Gregory's, which is piss from a dog. So
Solid
this is
4 out of 10 for Gregory's, in my opinion. Just how it goes.
It's expensive.
But today we got Ray Sol. I'm butchering it.
Ray Souls.
Don't judge me.
Is there anything else? 100% Colombiano.
Yeah, this is Colombian brew, guys. All right, so Colombian brew. I've had this once before, and I think you and I both tried it at the same time
I've had
last
this
time.
place so many
but
times.
let me tell you, oh my god,
It's amazing.
this makes you feel like you're on. I don't know if I could say certain words on YouTube, but
We're not
wow.
making money anyway, so you can say whatever you want.
Like, not that I know what crack tastes like or feels like, but
I do.
this is nitro too, guys.
By the way, you stab it too. It's one
Like
of those
boba.
things. Like the boba. I never had boba tea.
What?
I'm not a pudding person.
You don't have the tapioca balls. I feel like you're not a tapioca ball.
You know, all my
person.
life I thought those were blueberries.
No.
Well, all right.
Okay, well, ready for it, guys? 1, 2, 3, little bit I can't speak. ASMAR, right?
Ready?
Is that how you say it?
Stroke.
All right, man. All right, 1, 2,
3.
5.
That's nice.
Okay. Do a little taste test, right? Let's do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Dude, it's so strong.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I'm not even like being over dramatic. This is like,
The quality
yeah,
of the
Colombian.
coffee is just so
wow.
good.
We have a friend who's Colombian.
We do.
When she views this video, when it goes up,
I'm gonna get
we got a lot of shit for that. Anyway,
we got a
though,
rock thrown through my window.
episode number 4.
Episode number 4.
As you guys can see, I have a laptop now in front of me, as well as this gentleman over here, to make me feel like I have a little zest to my pep. But how do you rate this coffee? Did we rate it yet?
I think out of all the ones, not even that we've tried, just all the ones that I've had, this is like by far my favorite.
Yeah, this is nitro too. Nitro is like the infusion of the caffeine.
It's no joke. You know what's really cool about this place too? Like they'll do the little like teddy bear ice. You ever see the videos of it and everything? No, like aesthetically that place is amazing.
Oh,
it's
100%.
really, really cool.
Yeah, it was so worth the drive and the hassle to get this. No one understands. So, as you guys know from previous episodes, my driving. As soon as this happened before, as I was getting it, I was supposed to get Nick for 1 o'clock, and now it's 2 o'clock as it's almost 2:30 now. We're filming this.
My alternator.
So ultimately, I go right. I'm in Ridgewood, and as you guys know, Ridgewood's a very congested town on nice days like this.
A smaller Hoboken.
So I'm going, and the way to a lot of congestion, traffic. I'm going over by the where this place is, and I saw a spot. Now, guys, as you know, my parallel parking skills is not it's not all there. But in this mode, I was in an aggressive mode because this guy was about to take the spot. I come in from the back. I make an illegal Yui. Shout out to illegal Yuis, and
Don't do them.
I finally get into the spot, and I just out of nowhere, like as if I'm like a pro at it, I backed into this spot and I parallel parked. And then as I was doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, like I just did, like I thought to myself, Nick's gonna be so proud of me. If he was here right now, he'd be so proud of me, because I normally never do that. It's usually a car wreck waiting to happen. And the guy was aggressive. He was like beeping at me because I guess I stole his spot. And I'm like, let me have this moment. This never happens for me. Never happens to me. And I went in there, got the coffee, went outside. My car was, no tires were popped. Thank God.
When last time we were in Redwood, you were closer to the train tracks and you reversed.
I slammed into a pole. I slammed into the pole. And this was recently. This was I mean, like what, 3-4 months ago?
I had no idea what you were doing. We get back in the car. I think we were just leaving. And you start to reverse and reverse and reverse. I was like, is he going to cut the wheel eventually and not do this? And there's this like little sign that's in the middle of the road too. I guess like where people could walk and everything around there. And he slams into it. I was like, what did you do?
And as soon as I remember that day too, because I was so I was so worn out, and I'm backing up and I slam into this pole. I get out the car.
I whiplash. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, literally. And I got out the car. There's a little bit of a paint chip.
No damage.
No damage at all though.
It was empty.
Yeah.
Too. It was good that nobody was around. That would have been really, really bad.
Oh gosh. But how's your week been though? Good? It's been a good week?
It's been pretty busy. It's been pretty busy.
Flew by. We're already like almost in June.
We go to California soon, man.
I know. We got the Cali trip coming up.
Cali
Me and Nick
trip.
are in international. It's not. I know. It's not. I know. Don't stop it. You're about to correct me.
I was.
Don't correct me.
I was.
I know. International waters.
Longest flight we've collectively ever been on.
Yeah,
Me and you.
yeah. Miami in 2021 last 2 seasons ago. That was like what 2.5 hours in the air.
Barely 3.
Not
yeah.
even. Yeah.
Barely 3. If you want to count delays, 18 hours. But it was fun. This flight's going to be about 6 hours. We're going to go to Marina Del Rey because I keep calling it Lana Del Rey.
You know more than I do. I just keep saying California, and everyone's like, "Oh, where in California?" I'm just like, by the water. It's all starting with the water. Yeah. I know.
We're not far from the major things, though. I think we're like an hour and a half away from LA because I want to see the Chinese theater.
Yeah. Now let me tell you something. You know what? We're gonna go visit. Me, Candace. We already talked about this. We're gonna go visit. I think it's Sir. We're watching. So okay, I know I want to speak on this because this goes into my next thing. We're gonna be by Sir, which is owned by Lisa Vanderpump by Vanderpump Rules. Can I just say, you haven't been watching this, but I just have to comment on it. Wow. That's
I guess this is topical because all this stuff's happening. I keep seeing people repost it. I'm not a...
It's the most... I didn't understand it. So really, for the audiences, I'm going to break this down. Really, really quick topic. Vanderpump Rules, right? It's a show. It's like Jersey Shore meets Beverly Hills Bougie. Like, it is. But I never really got into it. I never gave it a chance. And then I started seeing all this scandal come out. It's like the biggest thing in reality TV world right now. So it's like Ron and Sam, but it's like, I would say, okay, so basically to break it down for me, and this is how someone broke it down for me when I first started to like try to understand it. It's as if, to break it down in Friends lingo, okay? It's as if Chandler cheated on Monica with Rachel. Rachel, because the girl's name is actually Rachel. And Joey knew about it while filming a reality show. So it's wild, but we're gonna be near the cast. So by maybe August, they'll be filming the next season, hopefully, but I'm gonna make a cameo.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not kidding, yeah.
Well, last time we had some luck running into some stars in Miami.
Yes, we did.
Oh, God. The only reason I knew the existence of it is because my mom watches, it's 90 Day Fiancé.
Yes.
That's the only reason. It was Stacey and Darcy.
Stacey and Darcy spinoff. And you know what's so funny? Months after we were there, because they were filming their show, and we actually got to speak with, what's his name? Donovan? I don't know don't quote me on the name. I don't really watch that nuts. Yeah, so ultimately, we're in the pool, and they were filming a scene for, I guess, the show. And Nick was the one that was like, dude, like, my mom watches them.
That's the only reason I knew them, yeah.
I'm just like, say no more. Had no idea who these people were. And I guess they're on break. The girl, which was, I think, Stacy, right? We saw her a lot during our time. Everywhere we went.
Oh, she showed up somewhere.
We went to the town.
Marshalls.
Yeah.
She was
randomly in
Marshalls.
Marshalls. She was shopping in Marshalls.
We
go to the freaking, to go out to eat. She's the table next to us, not filming.
There.
So we met her in the pool, though. So they were basically staying in the Airbnb that we were staying in, that same facility.
Very rich hotel.
I don't know how we got that.
It was an Airbnb hotel, so somebody must have owned the apartment or hotel that's in there, and then just Airbnb'd it out to people. But we had people with Rolexes on top of Rolexes.
Oh my God, you know the story rich. Too. The first day there, we basically spent a lot of our time there though at the pool.
It was beautiful.
Okay, we didn't even go to the beach in Miami. We just stayed in our little facility, and it was great. Had a gym. It had a very, very nice bougie pool. They had DJs at the pool. It was a wild time.
When they came up to us and it was like, "Oh, do you want to sit closer to the pool?"
Yes.
And I was just like, "Oh, that'd be nice." And she's like, "Yeah, it's a $2,000." Yeah, it was like that. It was like, "Oh yeah, $2,000 to sit here, $500 there if you want that, and you got to spend a minimum of $1,000."
Yes.
That was a very, very rich and bougie place. It was nice.
Yeah, Miami was a great time though. They had juice bars. They had all these like little bougie, nice baguette places. I say baguette. It's baguette. No, yeah, baguette. Like
baguette.
What do you call it? Baguette? No, it's.
What's this doing to you?
Bugatti? No, I'm kidding. Bugatti. Yeah.
Haven't heard from him in a while.
No, he's no. Yeah, but shout out to Miami. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're actually going longer for California though this time around.
A week?
Miami was, I think, 4 days.
We got back Monday. I remember because I went back to work. So I think it was from
it was a Thursday to Sunday.
To Sunday.
It was a very short time.
Yeah.
But Miami's like. Living that and going through that, I felt like that was a sweet spot. Like anything after 4 to 5 days in Miami, it then becomes to feel like, oh. But now we're going to California from, I think it's Tuesday all the way to like Sunday.
Yeah, so we're getting almost like a full week out of it.
We're getting a full week out of it.
End of August, that's when we're going to go. So it should be a good time.
Yeah, by then you'll see a Cali episode of us like probably in our Airbnb filming because we're going to bring all of our equipment down with us.
Does it beep on the plane while we're on there?
I don't know. Can't joke around about that. You know, can't even say bomb on a plane. You know.
All right.
It's true. Remember that one time? Wait, remember? You were like, I'm like, hey Nick, that's a bomb ass jacket you got on there.
People's heads turn. Well, we didn't film last weekend.
We did not. No.
Mother's Day.
Due to Mother's Day, we took a PTO day.
We have a lot of news. We have a lot of stuff up here. So you do you want to read the stuff that you wrote down? Do you want to take it? You do one, I do the next one.
Yeah, sure.
Back and forth.
That's fine.
The first one is you, and God knows I don't want anything to do with this ever. Go for your movie news.
The Meg 2 Trench trailer just dropped by Warner Brothers. For those people who are saying, "Oh, what's Meg?" Exactly. It's a movie that we didn't need a sequel to, and I'm a very big shark guy. Let me tell you.
You love sharks.
I love sharks.
Yeah.
I thought Jaws, and just in general, there hasn't been a really good shark movie in a really long time. I would say the last shark movie that was really good was Shark Night 3D. That came out in 2013.
I have no idea what that is.
You know, a lot of big
I know
names are in it,
Sharknado.
too. Oh gosh.
Sharknado.
You know, fun fact about Sharknado.
Tara Strong, my favorite actress.
Yeah, literally. Being that we're on that topic, you know, Sharknado, literally, like, it had every cameo from Shark. I think it went through 5 or 6. It could be 5. I'm not sure.
Was the budget like $8 too? Like, it was like nothing, right?
Oh my gosh! But
it
was made
awful.
But it was made purposely to look bad. But it became like a cult classic. Everybody and their mother during that time, like Sharknado, every year popped a new one.
Well, that's why I know it, because everybody would always talk about it. Yeah. That's why I know it.
It's such a wild time.
When did the first Meg come out?
We saw that in 2018.
Wow.
Yes.
It's been some time.
Yeah, but you know the guy who played Dwight Schrute, he's in it.
Yeah,
he was great comic relief. Ruby Rose was in the first one. They're not
Vine
in
guy.
this one.
You know the Vine guy too, the heavier set guy in there. He was the one that reacted crazy.
Yes.
I'll put up his picture. Yeah, he was Vine famous for a while. Yeah, he's in
died
it too.
the film. He's not going to make it in the sequel, but
no.
Basically, the Meg though, it's based off of a book series. Did you know that?
I didn't. I know what a megalodon is. I know it's like the biggest shark ever.
Yeah, a book series. And the Meg 2, I think it's called The Trench, the actual book, but this one's called Meg 2, The Trench. So it's based off the second book. And basically, what?
What else was going to be called The Trench?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, got canceled.
Sounds like full circle. I will put up that older
canceled.
article. Just a small segue before he finishes. James Wan, the director of Aquaman, was going to make a spin-off called The Trench. Thank God that never got made.
Yeah. I feel like they didn't even show enough of those creatures. It was a blip.
One action scene of them.
It was a solid blip of
You're going to do a whole movie about them?
They were going to make a movie off of that. And I don't know.
Who was running Warner Brothers?
I don't know. You could do a lot, though, with the under aquatic world. You could do a lot.
Aquatic?
Is that a word? Aquatic?
Aquatic?
Hello. Yeah, you know. I've been doing that a lot. I've been doing those a lot lately. Random. I don't know whether it's considered a tick.
Where you think that it's a word and you just say it?
Yes.
Yeah, you do that.
I make my own words together.
That's nothing new.
Well,
you've always done that. But that is the Meg 2. A trailer did release as you said. The guy from Transporter's in it, right? He's the main guy.
Yes, and the guy also from the Fast X saga. I don't know his name because I don't watch those Fast movies. I'm sorry. Jason Statham.
Jason Statham.
John Stamos, not to be confused with the John Stamos.
That's all we got on the Meg 2, I guess. I don't ever want to see it.
No.
So
what's crazy? It looks so...
I didn't even watch the trailer.
Poorly done.
Yeah.
I sent you it twice. You didn't watch that?
No. I ran out of minutes, man. Sorry.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Yeah. Celebrity news. Robert De Niro had his 7th baby. Why?
Talk about him being...
things working, I guess.
Things are working for him, I guess, at that age, too.
I had 2 Robert De Niro newses, actually, too.
Oh,
so later in there. Yeah, a little bit after. Just because I know probably more about it.
Oh, okay.
No offense. No offense.
Okay.
You hate older movies.
What movie is it?
Well, you have a thing against just older movies.
Black and white films don't do it for
I
me.
think your knowledge of movies stops after maybe 1985. Anything below that,
JFK.
I should throw you a bone.
I know now.
Maybe Grease and Star Wars. Anything before the 70s, you don't care about. Movie.
When was Clue made?
Probably the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Probably
no. 70s. That was the 70s.
Late 70s or 80s?
Yeah, sure.
I'll find out for sure.
Sure.
Don't worry. When I'm editing this, I'll find out.
Mm.
But Robert De Niro had his baby. Thoughts, feelings.
How many baby mamas does he have? Is it all the same woman? I doubt it. It's Hollywood.
I read up on this. So he has had 3 marriages. It was 1 marriage, the divorce, 2nd marriage, and then the 3rd time that he got married, it was to the same woman again. Yeah, so it's kind of like a weird cycle of like looping around.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's had 3 separate marriages, but with 2 people, if you think about it.
I wonder what his karmic cycle is.
I don't know. The guy is a legend.
What's his sign? Look it up right now.
Robert De Niro's sign.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is bright. He's a Leo.
Okay, that makes sense.
The third piece of news.
Oh yes, Seth Rogen. Some news about him. Where's he been? Right? Yeah.
That's not him.
What's
That's Fat Albert.
Yeah.
No.
I know it is. I know it sounded like him though. And a similar laugh. But ultimately, Seth Rogen is doing an animated Ninja Turtle movie, animated, okay? And they are focusing heavily on the teenage aspect of this movie, which is pretty cool. I feel like growing up with the Ninja Turtles, we were like on that cusp of like.
I felt like they were in their 20s. They acted and felt like they were in their 20s.
Yeah, they acted like they were grown men. They're actually focusing now on the teenage Ninja Turtle aspect.
Well,
which
ones are you really thinking of? Are you talking about the abortion Michael Bay films?
What?
You ever see the Michael Bay films with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
The live action ones?
Yeah, are those the ones? Oh yeah, they're unwatchable.
Yeah.
Those, and then the costume ones. Remember when they were the bulgy costumes in the 90s?
I thought those. See, my mind paired those two things, separate things, as the same thing.
Really?
Michael Bay did one.
Two.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Wait, that's with Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
know about the Megan Fox ones, but not the '90s. Oh, see, I meshed them
90s
together
ones.
as two. I was never really a Ninja Turtles fan. I think it was a little
never
bit.
was.
We were born right after that, but I dabble. Like it's just not for because we didn't grow up with it, so we don't have any type of nostalgic like attachment toward those things.
We grew up with the MCU.
We grew up with the MCU.
Iron Man. We were 10 when we saw it, so
yeah,
it was a different story and everything.
So not to bash or anything like that because we're not bashing it. Just we didn't grow up with it. So
I'll bash it.
Okay. Well, that's, yeah. The new the Ninja Turtles movie is that ultimately there was footage shown at the CinemaCon that basically had, I think, April O'Neil warning the Turtles about Gru and Megamind. So they're now combining the Despicable Me universe as well as Megamind together. So the villains.
You actually wrote that. Oh, that's not a joke.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's like a DreamWorks versus Turtles crossover thing, which is pretty neat actually because Seth Rogen is very creative. He's done a variety of so many different things. But having this be, I wonder how like the copy, unless it's in the same universe, I don't think ever.
DreamWorks
owns Turtles. Ninja Turtles.
I don't know about Turtles, but I know that they own Megamind, and I know that they have. I'm pretty sure they have Minions, or is that Illumination?
But yeah, so the Ninja Turtles are actually going to go up against, if it's all working out, they're going to go up against Gru and Megamind. So it's cool to see those two universes collab. I can kind of see how the
amount of memes I'm going to get for Megamind, by the way, that I could find, that I'll put up here.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my god. That's probably the reason why they're doing it again. That's funny. Oh, that sounds like a good thing. This is something that's really cool. It seems like we are in the realm of a bunch of... Well, I mean, we've been in the realm of sequels being made for a very long time, but now they're really, really patenting it and really, really pushing forward with everything. Dodgeball 2 with Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn is a green light, and it's going. I love that movie so much.
Dodgeball is, what's really funny? The unrated version of Dodgeball is like
amazing.
By far, like
You've watched it too?
Yeah. No, but Dodgeball is one of my I feel like we grew up with that kind of comedy style too, like Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller, those are. I just can't wait to see what they're gonna do with this this Dodgeball.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. That's the funniest line in the movie. You could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball.
Justin Long. It was a great cast. It was
Justin Long's amazing.
It was Dodgeball. The very first Dodgeball movie was like your iconic,
like Anchorman,
early 2000s cast. Yep. Exactly.
It's Anchorman like also. Thing. Yep.
I wonder what they're gonna do with the storyline though. Nothing's been confirmed with the storyline yet.
Just that those two main guys are coming back. That Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller.
I think at the end of Dodgeball 1, during the tournament, they obviously Vince Vaughn's team wins. Mm-hmm. And I think they all kind of it'd be really cool.
Have a gym.
They have a gym together. I think it'd be really cool to have those two teams come together off of a new rival. It's kind of like Cobra Kai.
That would be cool. Oh, I get you. I get your
point.
Yeah.
Both parties from the original that were up against each other, they come together to face off with a new antagonist. That's a threat to both of them.
That's a smart way of doing it, honestly. We're just going through all these because we've been out for 2 weeks.
Right.
You can tackle that one.
Oh yeah, no. So Willem Dafoe announced as a secret character in Beetlejuice 2. So
best
honestly
speaking,
speaking, I think knowing how this man is with all the stuff that he's done prior, he could be an antagonist. I
Sure.
really think he'll be an antagonist for this movie.
Sure, you think Alec Baldwin's gonna come back?
No.
Okay.
I forgot how. Yeah, he looked super young.
He looks great in that movie.
Yeah.
He looks amazing in that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but he looked really, really good. Having him in that movie, Willem Dafoe. So now it's Willem Dafoe, Jenna Ortega,
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton back as well, Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
Yep, and Tim Burton coming back. That's a great.
That's a really nice
cast.
ensemble. I'm excited.
You know, it'd
could
be
a
really good
movie.
to throw him in too, just as some character. Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Just as somebody.
I agree.
Because they have a really good relationship together. They've been in a lot of stuff together. He was the Penguin. He was in Big Fish. If you've ever seen that movie,
Yeah.
it's really, really good. The next one.
Ooh, this is big. This is big.
Yeah. Oh, I did the last one. You do this one
This
because
is big.
you like this one a lot.
Oh yeah, Freaky Friday. So Freaky Friday, okay, sequel officially in the works. Okay, both I believe it says here, both Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan is returning. They're returning.
That's crazy. 'Cause
Yeah, so
how old is that
another
movie
sequel.
now?
2003. Don't quote me on it. It could be either 2002 or 2003.
I will carbon date it.
Yeah, carbonate that. If it is actually, if I'm right, then
Good one. 2003.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. See, I don't know why. Certain things stick with my memory. It's very weird. Like certain things, like no one would ever. I feel like you ask anybody that on the street, they would never know. Like, oh, like, I don't know.
You know, my first memory of ever watching that movie was here, in your house.
Really?
Yeah, I remember it. You had
You
it
had
on.
that?
Yeah,
Oh,
you had it
wow.
on. Yeah, I have a memory of you throwing things at the TV. I swear to God, you would throw things at the TV every time that the boyfriend who liked the mom would come on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, you would just be like, we don't like him, and you would throw things at the TV.
Are you serious?
I have a deep memory of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Isn't that fun?
Isn't that weird how memory works?
All right, and now I don't even want to.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're back. We're back here now. We kind of teased this before.
We did. So Fast X is now a trilogy instead of being a final movie.
Oh god. Talk about extra. Talk about something that like no one really asked for. And I get it. There's a crowd out there that's like really for this franchise. I don't understand. Not because it's about cars and all of that. It started out as something like, you know,
A car movie.
it was a
cars.
regular like, you know, car racing.
Need for Speed, one of
you
those
know,
things. Yeah.
Then like you get into the timeline, like Tokyo Drift, which is part 3, happened before part 5, and then part 4 happened in between part 5 and 6. Like the timeline is so skewed because one of the main characters who died in 4 is now back in this one. So I don't know. There was something I don't know. You can't quote me.
You know what I think really ruined this franchise a lot too? Them probably comparing themselves to like Mission Impossible. Because there's a better version of this movie out there. It's called Mission Impossible. And
I agree.
There's so
I
the
agree.
last Mission Impossible, I love that movie so much.
Yeah,
I thought that was one of the best.
It's something I could never get on board with. I have very, very, very vivid memories of like being at my cousin's house when I was like growing up in the early 2000s, and us having on DVD like both the Fast and Furious Part 1 and Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, my dad would always watch them all
And
the
then
time.
Tokyo Drift I kind of got into when it came out, and then like ever since then I kind of fell off. But I have very like when the plot was just strictly about racing and car heists, etc.
Yeah.
But now it's like you got them going into outer space, you got them going across the world, and
swinging the cars from trees.
it's all about, you know, like
my mind shuts off.
Dom, Vin Diesel's third cousin's brother, is the villain, and you find out at the end that they're really the good guy, and it's just a bunch. I don't understand it.
It's a weird movie. It's a weird concept. It should have died with 7, where Paul Walker and them.
Yes,
but
I agree.
That would have been the nicest
I
send off
agree.
ever.
And I also heard, I haven't seen Fast X yet. Paul Walker may have cameoed, or they used his brother, I believe, or as they used the CGI.
They went along with that now.
I heard that it might.
His
he might have
daughter's in it.
cameoed. Yes, I heard that
His
too.
daughter's
He told
in
me
it. Yeah, his daughter's going to be in it, which is interesting.
Yeah,
the
whole trilogy thing.
Not my thing.
It's very much you're like beating a dead horse, in my opinion.
Oh damn, we got a lot of bad news all around.
Oof, yeah, there's like the downfall of a tumbling boulder.
It gets better. It gets better at the end.
It does.
Kind of.
It depends how you want to spin it. But.
We call this the stock market. It's going up and down. You can tackle this one. Oh, the hatred I have for this.
So Venom 3, okay, started filming in London. Where do you go from Venom? To be honest with you, man, I don't remember Venom 2. The Carnage. That's what it was with Carnage? Horrible interpretation. Horrible introduction to Carnage. And horrible introduction to the character of who was menacing in the comics. I loved Carnage in the comics.
Oh, amazing.
Crazy character.
I'll put up a comic. It was one of the most graphic comics ever done by Marvel with Cletus Cassidy. That's the character's name of it. Like murders a family and murders all these people and everything like that. A beautiful cover too. I'll put it up here and everything. They didn't get the character right. They didn't get Eddie Brock right on the first one too. I can dissect those movies to a T, but the last one was really, really, really unwatchable.
Yeah.
The first Venom, it felt like a 2004 movie.
It did.
Brought to life again, and I was like, wow. I was like, this is just, the writing was so bad and everything, and he shows up in like the Spider-Man Far From Home, was it?
Oh yeah, the end credit scene to No Way Home.
Oh, No Way Home too. Yeah, that's what it was. They threw him in the end of that. He just shows up for no reason.
Not at all.
He's not a good interpretation of Eddie Brock to begin with too. So you build a whole franchise off of him. Mm-hmm. What are you building to? You're not going to have Spider-Man.
I thought Woody Harrelson, was a really bad take on. I don't think he should have played.
Weird pick.
It was. There were so many other people out there that could have portrayed him well, but I feel like they really watered down what this guy was in the comics. Like, this guy was a mass murderer. Yeah. Right? He was a serial killer. And they let it be known, kind of, they skipped, but also too, it's like Venom 2, right when they announced it was going to be a PG-13 movie, I was like, that? You can't even put Carnage is not, you can't limit Carnage to be PG-13.
Say what you want about Spider-Man 3. At least it has a more cohesive story, and it throws to the end of those two colliding together, and at least we see that dynamic, and that's a good thing.
That cohesive story that was done in Spider-Man 3 may not be the best interpretation, but ultimately...
Guilty pleasure.
Exactly.
Is what it is.
We can quote that entire movie. Literally.
Love it.
Yeah. Next time you see Nick and I out somewhere, be like, oh guys, quote Spider-Man 3, we'll do it, no problem.
I could do a line for line.
Line for line, literally. Harry and Peter. We could do it.
Strawberries. I love that movie. I don't care.
It's such a guilty pleasure.
We should do a whole episode on the possible Spider-Man 4, honestly.
On the script. So there's a script really out there that we can definitely do at a later time also. We'll bring it up, and we can actually read through the script and kind of analyze it to see what would stick. But ultimately, I think Spider-Man 4 was going to be Bruce Campbell, was going to be Mysterio.
For a scene, yeah. He was going to drop him off in a prison. I could put up some concept art because I found it. Vulture was going to be, and I think it was going to be John Malkovich as playing him, or it was going to be Sir Ben Kingsley. It was between those two who was going to play him and everything. There's a lot of storyboard art.
And also Black Cat also was going to be.
It was either going to be Black Cat or it's going to be the Vultress.
Yes, you're right, the Vultress.
But Sam Raimi came out recently on a Reddit post, and I'm pretty sure he said that was never going to be something. The Vultress. Wow. I think it was just going to be.
Probably did a storyboard because I've seen storyboards with either Black Cat or I forgot what either or, but it could have been just a concept that we're going to kind of maybe entertain. And probably go with the other two ultimately.
That was
would have been really cool.
2011 is when it was supposed to come out.
Yeah, May 4th or May 6th. It was somewhere around there.
It was a May date.
It was a May date of 2011. And there's actually, it's sad because there were interviews with Tobey Maguire.
There's a tweet.
There's interviews with Tobey Maguire talking about 2-3 weeks before filming Spider-Man 4 before it was canceled. And he was talking about, I'm really excited to jump back into the character. I have a script. It's going to be great. And then 3 weeks later after that interview was posted, it got canceled.
Amazing Spider-Man went into production right after.
Yeah. Which funny enough, we didn't grow up with that. And we were kind of like...
I like the first one.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the first one.
Yeah, but then Andrew grew on us both later on. Like, I think No Way Home really restored our faith.
He's my favorite.
Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 2, flop. You watch that... Fun fact about this. Now, you watch that trailer. Watch that trailer for Amazing Spider-Man 2. The one that was shown at CinemaCon back in 2013 or 14. None of that trailer footage is in the actual final cut of that movie.
40 minutes was removed, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And a majority of it, there was a Mary Jane character. They were going to introduce Mary Jane.
Shailene Woodley was
there's behind the scenes footage. There's scenes of them filming, and every single scene of hers was cut. They weren't even in the deleted scenes category on the DVD, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I don't understand.
They cut her completely.
The whole thing with his parents, I think if they cut out all the stuff with his parents, remember the plane incident in the beginning of the movie? Unwatchable. I hated it so much. You focus a little bit more on your villain and everything, and you stay between the dynamic between Gwen and Peter together. It would have been a watchable movie, and you could take out those stupid Sinister Six cameos of what never happened. Yeah, you know how sad it is to watch that now?
Yeah, well, they were going to do a spin-off after Amazing Spider-Man 2 direct from that scene, and you have that guy walking through. I forgot his name, the main antagonist,
Doctor Sinister or Doctor something.
and it was basically leading up to the next. It was going to be a spinoff in that same universe. So it was supposed to be before Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 3, but they were going to do a spinoff of the Sinister Six in the Sony universe, and then it never came to light because. Is that true that Andrew got fired? Didn't he get fired?
So Andrew was supposed to go to this massive press conference, and I think it was going to be in Japan.
Yes, it was. It
was going to be with the head of Sony at the time, and the head of Sony was going to announce the date for The Amazing Spider-Man 3, the spin-off of Sinister Six. I think there was also going to be a Venom movie at the time, too, that they were putting together as well.
Before Tom Hardy was even casted.
Correct.
Yes, no, you're right.
There was going to be a bunch of things, and Andrew Garfield said that he was sick, and he couldn't make it. And I guess the chairman thought he either didn't believe it or he thought of it as an insult too. So he cut everything and stopped everything altogether. And then Kevin Feige and Amy Pasquale met together and said, how can we bring Spider-Man into the MCU? And I guess their vision did not see Andrew, and that's where Tom came along. So that was the whole thing. Yeah. A younger Spider-Man. Because now we know it worked out.
It worked out for the best
beautifully.
Because the big picture was where the MCU was going. They can implement all different variants of Spider-Man, which is a win-win for all. Because you're bringing it together, which was really neat about the Spider-Man. I don't even think we probably touched on it a couple times ago, but the audience and being a part of that crowd.
Never gonna have that again.
Never.
No.
Okay.
Endgame and Spider-Man were the best theater experiences of my life.
Yeah, Infinity War 2. I'll never forget
Infinity War was good too. It was sadder. It was way sadder with people.
The night that you and I went, we went opening night for Infinity War, and that was before, like, I didn't even spoil it for myself. We avoided spoilers.
I deleted
And
Instagram.
we went in there because every single, which I love this too, the tack they played on this was they go in there because every single movie leading up to Infinity War, it's the heroes always outweighing the villains, right? But then again, Thanos himself, he was a villain in his own perspective. He was doing something that he thought was right, going by his people and his view on what he was trying to do. The reason behind why he was doing what he was doing, it wasn't just to kill everybody and call it a day. It was because he believed that there was a higher power at hand to be, with that being said. But ultimately, that was the first ever time I think you felt, when everyone started dusting away, you felt the entire room. You felt the whoa.
Say what you want about Marvel movies and everything, because we actually do mention someone who has said things about Marvel movies in the past. They brought the theater experience together with people, because that was the whole thing about people going out to movies. That was a big thing after COVID when they shut down.
Yeah.
Going out to movies and having an experience in a group with people. You felt the way that you're describing it. You felt the weight of everybody when everybody faded away. Even in Endgame too. Endgame was extremely emotional in its own right.
It was, yeah.
A lot more like oh my god moments. Like crazy stuff, but it was extremely emotional as well too.
But like watching like Spider-Man, watching like the Guardians fade away, like it just watching everyone in just utter awe. Like everyone in the theater.
You could hear a pin drop. Everyone's like,
you could literally, and then after the credits roll, saying so and so will return or Thanos will return. Everyone left that theater. I'm getting chills thinking about it.
Do you know what you have? Which was a really good video. You recorded it in Ant-Man, the post-credit scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes.
Hello? Ha ha, very funny. Hank, quit screwing around. You told me yourself not to screw around. Hank! Oh? Janet!
Everybody, I watched it already.
Guys. Okay, seriously, don't joke around. Bring me up, let's go. Guys!
The reactions that you heard from people,
It was,
It's so great to be a part of it. And no, Spider-Man No Way Home, the second that you see that cane hit the ground, the second that you see the portal open, they all come out, people, I kid you not, were on their feet.
Screaming.
We stood up.
Screaming.
We stood up, we were screaming.
We cried. There was emotions,
I cried
we cried. There were so many things that tied into the very end. Like,
I lost Gwen.
Yeah, literally. He gets to explain his Gwen story, the Uncle Ben, bringing them together. And also him saving Zendaya in the end too.
You okay?
He basically restored his faith, and it just
redeemed
and also
him
hearing
so
too,
well.
which I loved, what went on off screen, the events of Amazing Spider-Man 2. He goes on and he fights like that Rhino in the ending battle, but in the in No Way Home on the bell tower when they're all having a conversation with each other, all the three Peters, he even said he became bitter.
You want me to do it line for line?
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Go for it.
There's the time I stopped pulling my punches. I got bitter. I got rageful. I just don't want you to turn out like me.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was
Pretty
really
good.
actually. You wanna shed a tear? You want to shed a tear? Cry like a man?
Probably, yeah.
You know?
Just show me
Wow,
rocket.
see that? See that?
It's called acting.
This
It's called
guy.
acting.
Oh, I got chills even looking like it.
I lost Gwen. You can do Toby scenes, I'll do Andrews. It was an awesome, awesome movie.
Yeah.
So that was off of talking about Venom, and we went from Spider-Man 3 to the Amazing Spider-Mans to all this. Look at that.
We literally went down, but that's how everything correlates, though.
You wrote down this one. You wrote a funny thing too after writing it down. I completely forgot about this movie. I view this in my mind as a movie that came out during COVID. I'm pretty sure it was a really big COVID streaming movie, right? Or am I wrong?
This came out, I think it was either 2019 or it was in it was before COVID. I remember this because this was like the talk of the town when it first came out.
Oh no, you're right. 2018. I don't know
2018?
why. 2018.
Oh,
yeah.
I was off. I said 2019. Bird Box sequel. Okay.
64 Rotten Tomatoes doesn't give me
But
a
that
sequel
was like, do
vibe.
you remember when Bird Box first came out on Netflix? It was like the
Most watched thing.
And it had a good ensemble cast. It had Sandra Bullock, and it had Sarah Paulson. And Sarah Paulson from the Ryan Murphy, American Horror Story, as everyone knows her from. She had a minimal role. She had maybe like 10, 15 minutes of screen time, and she died. But people were watching it because she had a very big following too. But it wasn't announced. She didn't like die in the trailer. I thought she was gonna be a main character, and then I saw the movie. She like died 10 minutes in. It's gonna be in the same universe as the first movie. I don't think there's any returning cast from the first movie, but it's gonna be like The Walking Dead. It's gonna be like the world after. I guess it's gonna be another person's story in that same universe.
Quiet Place type vibe.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay, cool. That should be interesting.
It should be. Yeah.
Okay, so I will tackle the next one. So a trailer came out which I watched. I don't know if I might have sent it to you, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I just talked about it real quick. A trailer for Martin Scorsese's film on Apple TV, made by Paramount, called The Killer of the Flower Moon, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and our baby boy Brendan Fraser.
Oh! I sent you this.
You sent me the screen grab.
I saw a promo, like a photo of it. I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't know that there's a trailer out for it now.
There's a trailer, and
I'll watch it
they
later.
recently. I found a picture today on Instagram. Brought the movie to Cannes Film Festival, and they were all together too. And this is like, of course, Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese together again too, right off The Irishman. So that should be really interesting. And Leonardo DiCaprio with Robert De Niro together. It's gonna be a crazy.
It's gonna be a really, really nice. I like the chemistry. They always have good chemistry.
Yeah.
I feel. It's gonna be really interesting too. Plus, Martin Scorsese, he has a lot of like the Ireland. Don't quote me.
Ireland?
No.
Oh, The Irishman?
Irishman. Irishman.
So let me ask you this, because this is more my realm of things. Have you ever seen the original movies when they started teaming up together, like Taxi Driver, King of Comedy?
I saw Taxi Driver.
You did see Taxi
Wild
Driver.
movie. And go watch that movie.
Okay, you did. Yeah. It's a great movie.
Robert De Niro. First off, his body composition. Well, listen, we touched on a lot of basis, topics today.
Yes.
We had a really good episode. We touched on a lot, like I said.
We were gone for 2 weeks, so yeah, we had a lot of stuff.
Definitely. So stay tuned for more.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Episode 4 wrapping up.